So there was a man named Jim. Now Jim had committed a crime, and so he had to go to court. But he was worried because he knew that at the court case he would have to pay a fine that he couldn't afford. Before the court date, Jim heard that the judge that was over his case was the fairest judge ever. If someone was guilty, then they would get a fair punishment. But if someone was innocent, they would always get set free. On the day of the court case, Jim walked into the room and he realized that the judge was actually his dad. Now, Jim's dad was the most loving and compassionate dad ever. He loved his son and he wanted the best for his son. Now, Jim's dad had a really big dilemma. If he was to remain a loving father, then he would have to forgive his son and let him free. But to remain a fair judge, he would have to punish his son for the crime that he committed. What do you think that Jim's dad could do? Jim's dad did find a way to remain a loving father and a fair judge. First off, Jim's dad did find that Jim was guilty, and so he issued him a fine. Although Jim couldn't afford it, it was fair because Jim was guilty. But the second thing that Jim's dad did is he took off his judge's hat, he left his judge's seat, and he walked over to Jim, stood beside him, and he got out his wallet and he paid the price for Jim. And so Jim was completely free. His dad had paid the price for him. In this story, Jim's dad represents God. God is both a fair judge and a loving and compassionate father. If God is a fair judge, then he must punish us. But if he's a loving father, then he wants to set us free. What can God do to remain both a fair judge and a loving father? You see, God, he knows us and he loves us. He's our Father, yet he's the most fair judge ever, and he wants the best for us. But he knows that we've sinned and that we've done things wrong, and so there is a price to pay, and we do deserve punishment. But God, he sent his one and only Son down to earth as a human being, and his Son, Jesus, he paid the price for us. He died on the cross for me and you so that you can be completely free. He set you free. And that's what Good Friday is all about.